And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome. It is a truly terrific Thursday. Can you always believe it? I mean, for me, it's only day 2 of the week because I had the good fortune of being off on Monday and Tuesday, but I'm back in the saddle and ready to roll. I'm going to ask you if you're listening to us on an app, on YouTube, and all those things. Hey, the website, wherever you are listening to us, call your friends and say, hey, talk show is still on. The weather has put the radio down on the Grand Cayman. We're still thankful, being broadcast on the BRAC. So call him, tell him you can still hear that fella. He's back here talking. He's inviting you to be a part of the discussion. But we need you to use the technology. And remember, the radio is always handy. But today we need to use another way to get us on board. So we want to hear you calling and sharing. We're going to be talking and laughing. And we're going to be living and loving as we learn. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email talk today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome and thank you for joining us. We recognize that the weather sometimes because of the rain, sometimes the wind. But today, it just keeps us away, only physically, but we always connect spiritually. And we want you to be, assured that you're always invited and welcome to call and share your thoughts. Now, momentarily, we are off air on the radio for some, will find it. But our website is there. The app is there. If you're on the BRAC, thank you. We want to hear from you. If you're listening to us, just to make sure, this is sort of like, test and reset. So give us a shout. If you haven't as yet downloaded our app, go right ahead. An opportune time. And not just because we're in that season where we always want to be prepared, but this is a good time to test your responsiveness and readiness. 949-8037, 949-6990. The WhatsApp is there for you as well, 925-32-621. Shout and share your thoughts with us. As much, to be concerned about. I'm reminded that the word concern and worry are not synonymous. The scripture says, don't worry about that, don't worry about this, because the birds don't, the bees don't, the trees and the flowers and all those things. So why are you? Well, we still worry. And to me, the worry is that thing that we can't do anything about. So we be concerned, which is a difference. That's not necessarily an English lesson, no linguistics, no semantics, but maybe there's a word of choice that you wish to choose to share with us. Maybe there's something else that's more important, or we want to hear from you. Because if we don't have dialogue and diplomacy, if we don't have great discussion and discourse, we can end up having a lot of disunity, discord, and division, and that, my friend, can lead to disrespect, and we don't want that. Too many of us are feeling marginalized. Some of us are feeling as if, to move forward, we got to step on someone else's toes. Let us not get ahead at another's expense. Takes 2 hands to clap and only one to beat our chest. Hey, 949-8037, 949-6990. And share your thoughts with us. We know our parliament goes into session very shortly, and there are a lot of bits and pieces and bills that they're going to bring to the House as they continue in this, steadfast approach at good governance. But it does not happen in a democracy in the absence of voter participation. And that not only, during an election cycle. That is every day. Being involved and informed, engaged, and ensure that you are educated and willing to participate in what transpires, because the person at the helm isn't always the person that should be there, nor is it the person that's most equipped and informed. Sometimes they're just there because they wield a heavy hand, or other times they have a disarming smile. Much has to be said about those who stand, at the podium, whether to preach or to teach, and you have the question of those in the audience aren't willing to listen and critique. Then what is often said might amount to little more than propaganda. Well, we're told we have a call from our good friends in the Brack, and I'm always honored to listen to each and every, so let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon to Susan and to everybody listening.
And to you, Mr. Raymond, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, mostly got to be indoors on and off. We've been having light rain for most of the morning, thunder and lightning.
Yes, sir.
And completely cloudy and overcast. It just done raining down here at West End. How are you hearing me?
5 by 5, sir. 5 by 5, and I trust and pray you tell us how you're hearing us.
Very good. It's perfect, loud and clear.
Awesome.
Is it correct that Grand Cayman residents are not getting Radio Cayman?
On the radio, most we're told will not be getting our signal just yet, but our engineer and team diligently working to get that resolved. But you can still get us using the website, the app, and all the other resources. But just shows you our resilience and resolve to ensure that the residents of the Brack are always, front and center. You guys are catching us well on the radio, all right?
Yes, perfect.
Alrighty.
Any chance that I get, I listen to you. I want to hear what's happening, what's
Thank
being
you, sir. Thank you.
said on the talk show, and it's a very important thing. It's very educational.
Yes, sir.
Hearing the comments of what people have to say.
So true.
Yes, so we had a flight left on the Twin Otter to Little Cayman this morning, and it couldn't land in Little Cayman, so it had to come back here.
Wow.
So this kind of weather, it's disrupts the air travel a lot.
Yes.
But last week, I think it was either 5 or 7 planes were circling and had to go back to Cancun, Mexico, and land, and some went to Kingston, Jamaica. So this kind of rainy weather is hampering the air travel. Right now, I'm just hearing thunder. We still having lightning here at West Inkim and Brack.
Wow. Okay.
And the sea on the north side is just a light chop. It's still raining. Constantly now, it's still raining, but a light rain. And this looks like island-wide rain, and it's going to continue for the mostly rest of the day into tonight.
This is the rain, I think, it's more than what my mom would talk about, a fool's rain. This is a torrential downpour in many places, so we need to make sure that we are safe and secure by sounding our senses as we, move about our streets and the like,
Yes, sir, correct. And I would like to advise the public with these conditions that we are getting and going to get a lot more of it, of severe thunderstorms and lightning, like construction workers working up on roofs and heavy equipment operators operating excavators with the chrome shaft on the cylinder operating. That's very dangerous. So for operators and all people around to take precautions when you see this severe lightning and flashing sudden and you hear the big bang. That's very dangerous to be outdoors operating heavy equipment or around trees or anywhere or up on buildings, on house tops, putting on roofing or any kind of thing like that. Be extremely careful and cautious. We have had it in Cayman Brack here, a massive lightning strike somewhere in the western area here. That was day before yesterday evening. Haven't found the location, but I believe it hit the tower, the big tower that is here at West End area. Haven't found the area, but the most prone, the most susceptible tree in Cayman Brack for a lightning strike is a coconut tree and an Australian pine, the Casuarina pine.
You're always a wealth of information, and I appreciate you sharing it. And I especially ask, those to heed what you share, who are outdoors, the heavy equipment operators, but the like, who may think it was just a drizzle, Be careful of the lightning. Anything before we take the first break, Mr. Raymond, and then we'll come to the calls after?
Yes, I want to talk about the Russian military power that has arrived in Cuba, the nuclear-powered submarine Kazan, and the Russian warship Admiral Gorshkov, and the world's biggest and most powerful tug was following them, Nikolae Cheeker. That was north of Cuba last night and making its way on to Havana. So it's about 4 warships, and also United States warships was north of Cuba. As a reconnaissance, checking out and watching what's happening, and Coast Guard vessels and all of that. But this is the first time in a very long time, and that nuclear-powered submarine can launch the Zircon missile, which is an unstoppable, one of the most powerful, disastrous weapons in the world. So that's quite worrisome to know they're only about 350 miles away from Cayman Brac to the northwest down there in Havana.
Mr. Raymond, I think many people would listen to what you say and dismiss it, but hopefully not so quickly. Respectfully, sir, we have that break. Would you allow us to kindly take it? We can always continue the conversation later. All right?
Yeah, okay, fine.
All the best, sir. Yeah. Thank you. And to the 2 calls in the wings, just hang tight. We'll get to you, because if you don't get a chance to share, we won't know what you're saying. So stay tuned.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
The Passport and Corporate Services Office is advising travelers to check their passports to ensure all is in order ahead of summer holiday travels. Travelers should check their passport validity, verify entry requirements for the destination, and apply for or renew passports and visas early. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as usual, Mr. Raymond always puts some good food for thought on the table as we go to the next call. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Sterling Dwayne.
Hey, how are you? James Albert Christian.
I can't complain, While falling outside here, it would only be a fool complaint.
It's a blessing from on high, my friend.
I tell you, that is a blessing what we get now, and I tell you honestly, it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Really downpour, man. I mean, we need this so bad. I mean, right now, I not got to worry about watering one piece of my plants out there. I got hundreds of pineapple trees, and I got to water them. Suckers, and I got to water them. I can't ask for nothing more right now, I tell you the honest truth. If someone had offered me $1 million, I would tell them I prefer this rain.
A man who knows the true value and worth of the things ahead. Yes.
Yes, my friend. I tell you, I just wanted to ask you something. I forgot yesterday to mention it when I was on that topic, but I wanted to say one thing and try to get the sense of one thing. Why our laws and our regulations, we always been for everyone else and not been for the Cayman people. And why I say that is regarding the Cubans that they sentenced to Northwood. I'm getting some kind of story about that. Why do our government take that kind of initiative to put prisoners, foreign prisoners, into our prisons? They struggle enough as it is to take care of their own up in there. Because you hear that gentleman calls all the time about Northwood, like they don't care about the people in a way. But they take foreigners into this country as illegal immigrants into this country, and whatever their crime is, they sentence them and put them in Northwood. No, the cost of that comes down from the people's pocket that the government got fork out to feed them, take care of them, instead of they turn around and ship them people back to their country. It doesn't matter whether they're Cubans, Australians, New Zealanders, Jamaica, Pakistanis, or Indians. It don't matter what nationality. It's not favoriting no nationality is what I'm saying. So I hope the people don't get me wrong for what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're talking about the cost in particular, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking. Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about the cost. I'm not talking about the human being.
Right. So the question, Sorry, yeah. And then by extension, the other question is, do we, by very conscious, deliberate effort, whenever a foreign national is sentenced to, imprisonment, do we automatically make an order for deportation and perhaps even go one step further and declare them persona non grata? In that, I understand that unless and until the courts make an order for deportation, that person that is in prison upon release can remain in the country.
You see, that's exactly what happens. They seek asylum. They seek asylum into this country. By the time their term is up in prison.
Right, but not just asylum, because I understand from those who understand the legal process that is a particular specific term with its own connotations. But then when they release, for some reason they're able to remain in the country even though they've committed a crime, and allegedly some have asked, are prisoners who are not non-nationals, not Caymanian, they're here, are they allowed when they are in prison to be released on sort of work release? Are they given certain liberties as opposed to what some may expect to should be the case? You're incarcerated, you're not from the country, your next sort of step is, on a flight elsewhere.
But and that's so true, because I mean, for us now to sit back and watch and wait and see if the government got deport them from these islands when their time up, honestly, my take on that is I don't see the government deporting them once they serve their time.
Right.
I don't see it.
But
I don't see it, because the thing about it is, if they had plans to deport them, they wouldn't have put them in prison from the beginning.
Right. But let me then ask you, right, as you share that picking up on a number of comments from people following this publication, some have asked, and you reference human rights, inference, inferring from what you call. Some have asked, in this instance, are we now sort of doing this because they're Cubans, but we're not doing it in the instance when there are other foreign nationals who've been in prison? I mean, this is a 9-month sentence or the like. Presumably there are many foreign nationals who've been in prison for longer terms, but no deportation order was effected. Why is that?
It shouldn't. And see, it boils right back down to it again. We are not targeting Cubans.
No, but
I hope the listening public is understanding.
Right,
that.
you're not saying that, right?
Yeah.
But what I want to emphasize is sort of argue with you. I mean that, or interject. What I'm emphasizing is some have asked, why are we doing in this case? Are we now in this instance discriminating? We, the country, right, through its systems, weather, and everything, are we now discriminating against the Cubans when other foreign nationals have been sentenced for longer terms, right, for even more egregious offenses, but they were not ordered to be deported upon release?
But that is the government system is labeled, and if you ask me, they have that system wrong.
Right.
Because what goes across the board for let's say someone from the Philippines had 15 years service served from the law to serve 15 years in prison, and then a Jamaican national or a Cuban national come around and they want to get 2 years. It should not be like that. It should be across the board for anyone come in your country and commit a crime.
Right. So let's ask a question.
But when you got countries like Spain, New Zealand, them countries that got Colombia, they got, in their system, in their law system, they have jail sentence times according to the crime already laid out into their system. So once you commit that crime, you serve that time no matter what nationality you are. It's straight across the board. It doesn't. Sterling, we are the only country that people talk about discriminating. No other country worries about discriminating against us, but we always sit down talking about, we discriminating against this individual or that individual. We have to put aside discrimination theory and talk about the safety of this country.
Exactly.
That's what matters. It no matter how much time you set in prison for an individual, you have to protect your country. That is the main sword. That is the main priority of any law.
Without question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, and I won't take up all your time because I do want to take that as well, but something you shared makes us ask the question, whether in the Cayman jurisdiction or others, if a person enters a jurisdiction illegally or is in a jurisdiction and overstays or somehow does something, and that person is then brought before the courts, duly processed, sentenced, and the like, is that person, the person was in the country originally illegally, is that person then, upon the completion of the sentence, whether early release or otherwise, what happens to that person? Is that person deported? Is that person able to come back into the society? I mean, I was curious to what happens in the Cayman context.
But what happens in the Cayman context, Sterling? Anyone that serves prison time in the Cayman Islands, they have the privilege, and I will use that term as long as I want, to come back into the Cayman Islands, and I will tell you exactly why I say the privilege. Because our Cayman Islands immigration system do not have a fingerprinting system. So once you release someone from prison, 5 years, they go to the other country or wherever they go, and they come right back to the Cayman Islands. We know absolutely nothing about that individual coming back in because we can't prove who he is. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't have no system where I can fingerprint and find out who the individual are. Is this the same individual that spent 2 years in prison? They don't know. But once you have a system that you know for certain that that person has served time and was deported from the country, listen, they got many ways that they can change their looks, from even putting on artificial breasts to putting on everything they want to do now. They can come in as a woman and we wouldn't even have an idea we're coming back into the country. But when our system falls low as what we have now, we don't have no system whereby we can detect who is who. And that is a weakness in our country. So we can be bringing back the same ones that were in jail 10, 15, 20 years ago, right back in Cayman today. In the immigration or whatever they call itself, no border control, they wouldn't even have an idea.
Right.
And I'm not saying that out of guessing. I know an individual that came back into this country that they had deported and came back into the country, and the immigration, they don't even know that he's in the Cayman Islands.
So what do we do when the citizens know? Right? Immigration and the authorities may not know, but we in the country, we know. What are we doing about that? Are we informing that, bringing it to the attention of the requisite authorities?
But our problem is we sit down and we come and we grumble and we complain, but we are afraid to go and say, listen, go to the immigration board and say, listen, I see an individual that was here, that was deported and was not supposed to be back in the Cayman Islands. I got a glimpse of him yesterday.
Right.
Where did you see the individual? You let them know, and so forth.
Yeah,
because when we jail these people, we just can't let them go and say they can still remain in our country. We just can't say we already made them serve their time, and we know we don't want to be human criticizing anyone or crucially decriminalizing the system because we have this thing with that we shouldn't be what word is that trying to find again? Prioritizing who the individual are. We have to set standards, and as long as in a country know that they can come here and they can get a slap on the wrist, they'll continue to drive into these islands and try to get as much as they can because the government has no regulations to keep them where they need to be shipped out and stay out. Because if I go to another country and they find me coming in with something, I serve time. I get kicked out of that country and never to return because I fingerprinted.
Yeah.
Sterling, before I go, that is our biggest issue in this Cayman Islands. Our laws of immigration, we do not have a fingerprinting system, and until we get that, we will not be able to solve no problems in these islands, such as foreign nationals coming in, committing crimes, leaving, and returning again.
Yeah, man.
That is our problem. Anyway, brother.
Okay, Bo.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you for taking. We talk again. As the caller talks about the safety and security leads to the civil, political, and economic stability of the society. So are we doing it right? Well, let's pause. When we come back, we'll join the other callers. Stay on the line.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Good afternoon. This is a Radio Cayman public service announcement. Just to let you know, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM or frequency is off the air at the moment. Our technician is working to rectify the problem. If you wish to listen to Radio Cayman, you can do so on our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can listen there. Also on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, you can hear the program as well. You can also download our app from from the App Store and listen to it on our app as well.
Here's a COC storm tip. Ensure your battery packs and electronic devices are always charged prior to a storm approaching. Keeping your kids entertained during a storm is one thing less you need to worry about. With COC, you've got the power.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and please tell your friends and family, if you're listening, that if you are not sure where to find a talk show, check out our app, check out our website, check out YouTube, or call your friends in the back and ask them. And what's that, Miss Susan? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that thing that us older folks use, Facebook. All right, so there it is. Our engineers are diligently working to get us back on 89.9. But we do have a couple of calls, right? So let's go to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Oh, hey, buenas tardes.
How are you?
So are you doing okay? I am great. I'm thankful for God, His mercy, grace, love, provision, and protection, that He gives me a voice and sometimes a sense to use it properly,
Yes, all of us, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Butler man and Cayman Brack, I hope you bring a couple of those pineapples to Cayman when you come down.
Or either that or send tickets we can come up and collect.
You know what I mean?
Ah.
I hope you listen. Sterling, he came on last week. I think it was last week. He was mentioning that how they're gonna be doing some construction work there in Cayman Brack. And like the people who's living in the Brack there, I'm just repeating, okay? Have no proof of anything that they will not pretty much not be on the list for a job. And if that is true, I mean, how can you go to there and build and know there's people there who needs to live too,
Mm-hmm.
Where are we bringing these people from to take up to the Brack to do these jobs? I mean, I don't know. It just bothers me to the fact that if they're going to be doing such a big construction up there,
Mm-hmm.
the Brackers should be the first one to listen, and then you go in and you bring in who you have to bring in to add with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Sterling, this is twice now that we had, I would say, unexpected weather. The way has been happening these last two weathers we had there in Northwester, and then this rain here these last couple of days. I'm thankful for it. We all need it. But what I can't understand is that they comes out and bring out all this info on Facebook, and some on Radio Cayman and so forth. And I don't know if they're not getting it fully accurate to the fact that it's more than what it is. It turns out to be more, and they might say just got our rain showers for 2 days, and we should be getting 2 inches of rain here and there, and it's like it's more coming from the weather. You understand? I don't know nothing much about weather, but these last two weathers that we had, it puts you in a thinking mood to say, well, how do we get prepared, and who's to tell you that we should get prepared to a degree. It's hurricane season, and then Miracle can hear, oh, sir, hurricane season, make sure you got your food and this and that and that and this. But what about the little tropical weather that's coming through? They doesn't see us to when they're ready. They do damage, but I don't think that we be really looking into these things to the fact that they're small and we're accustomed to them, and the weather's changing, the climate is changing rapidly, and I think they need to go and dig in some more to see what could happen here from what couldn't happen here. But I'll leave that there.
Okay.
I guess they probably said they know what I'm talking about, but who knows that knows it feels it. Put it that way.
Right.
There's a lot out there feeling it right now, having water issues. I mean, I have no control over the water to a degree, but we should have had places available for these people. Need to go places, and so forth and so forth. And I'm upset with Radio Cayman too, to the fact of this bad weather we had on, was it Tuesday or Monday?
Monday.
You would think that we would have got a little more info on the talk show in regards, especially the morning shift talk show, but it already in the past. But I think that we need to look upon a little more as people living here on this island. We don't have a TV station like we had 27. So everybody's depending on Facebook and Instagram and this one and that one. What about a little info that Radio Cayman brings up when they're ready? We should have a TV station with breaking news when it needs to be breaking to us, the emergency, But anyhow, Sterling, the Marion Dental Office. You been there?
Not personally, but I know. Yes.
Well, I've been going there recently, and Sterling, the upkeep of that building from outside, it needs to be upkeep. Apparently, that building is not being upkeep. We got a security sitting down there. He's full of attitude. He thinks he can talk to you any kind of when he's ready. He tells you to go to the back of the building. When you go to the back of the building, all the parking space is taken up. He should know how many space he got left back before he sends anybody behind there as a security guard. You don't think so? And then when you drive around to come back out, you got you got to beg him to move the cone. Then you ask him if you have any special disabled spot. No, we don't have none of them here. But what I'm saying all this to say this, that's a dental hygiene place where people go to on a daily basis. The building needs to be cleaned from the outside. Inside is not bad. And outside is, as far as I'm concerned, it is filthy. The back of the building, when you go back and it's raining, it's just pure, a little bit of grass and pure mud. Government had that building for some time now, and not even a little bit of filling they would put back there and try to build it up, put some tar on it, some Barbara Green, you want to call it, I don't know, or gravel or whatever the case may be. They got a pipe running water down to the end of the building, just running from this PVC pipe that's coming down into the ground and into the ground of the building itself. I mean, people go to open their mouth to do work. It needs to be more sanitized and a better upkeep. Because when we're going to take that stuff inside on our shoes, you understand? And from bathroom to the reception and into the dental chair. We don't know what we carry inside. So I really truly think that dental department down there, Marion Building, the service there is good. They got some really good people working there, and they know what they're doing. But outside needs to be taken care of, and I'm quite sure the government has some workers there that can go down there and get that place power washed, paint up, and get that piping fixed. Try to throw some dirt, some gravel, or build up the back and put some tar down there. Make it more presentable. And that security, he got to go to a degree.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it to the public's attention in this in this way, maybe with somebody else or on your own volition, maybe speak directly to the HSA, either formally through some sort of written communication, email otherwise, or just a phone call to somebody who knows somebody, because it's not always that people take on board the gravity of something because they don't necessarily experience it daily or directly. So thank you for doing that, all right?
All right, thank you, and you have
All
a great one. Welcome back.
Thank you. You do the same.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. So, Miss Susan, it's one. Do we take a call? Do we get lunch? Because I'm looking chocolate. What do you want to do, Miss Susan? She says, "Ooh, I think that sign means we're going to the news." I want you to join us after as we live, love, laugh, and learn. Join us so we can have a little bit more information and notification. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Cayman Islands will observe an official mourning period to honor the life of the first Deputy Governor, Dwayne Ebanks. On June 21st, Mr. Ebanks will lie in state at the House of Parliament, followed by a memorial service on June 22nd at the Clifton Hunter High School Gymnasium. Interment will follow at the Northside Cemetery. In regional news, the Jamaican government and media organizations have condemned threats against TVJ journalist Giovanni Dennis following his report on illegal drag racing. The Prime Minister's office has stated that such threats are an attack on press freedom and democracy. The government is committed to ensuring journalists' safety and bring the culprits to justice. The Press Association of Jamaica and the Media Association of Jamaica Limited demanded prompt police action, urging journalists to continue their work without fear. Haiti's newly sworn-in 12-member cabinet, headed by Prime Minister Gary Conille, is prioritizing peace, security, and the fight against corruption. Carlos Hercules has been appointed as the Minister for Justice and Public Security, and Dominic Dupuy as the Foreign Affairs Minister. The government pledges to regularly audit public resources and to improve conditions for Haitians. This follows the Presidential Transitional Council's nomination of Conille, who calls for free elections and stronger institutions amid a humanitarian crisis. The inauguration ceremony also paid tribute to 3 police officers recently killed by gangs, underscoring the severe violence and mass displacement in the country. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
Hinton Roxroy Connolly was born in Creek, Cayman-Brac on 9th of September 1937. Fondly known as Big H to his family and friends, both a sailor and electrical technician with 5 years at sea and 29 years with cable and wireless, in January 1960, Big H married Cicely Dilbert of Creek, Cayman-Brac and had 5 sons. In October 1976, he was united in his second marriage to Francine Porter of Spot Bay, Cayman-Brac, and they had 1 daughter. Big H was a part of the band Eddie and the Beach Boys, and in August 1977 traveled to New York, where he recorded and published his album, A Quick Drink by the Pool Bar. Big H could always be found at the Hilton, his backyard kitchen, which he built in the late 80s, to house in yams and cassava he cultivated on the bluff, later converting it into an outdoor kitchen which was named the Las Vegas Hilton. Big H spent the majority of his time at the Hilton, and you would find him playing his guitar and singing his heart out while sipping on his 345 beers. He was known for having many cook-ups with his famous beef and pork. On the evening of Wednesday, 18th September 2019, 9 days after celebrating his 82nd birthday, Hinton passed away peacefully at the Health City Hospital in East End, Grand Cayman. He was the proud father of 6 children, along with 17 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren.
Attention parents and guardians. Registration for Cayman Islands government schools for the 2024 to 2025 academic year closes on June 30th. By law, all children turning 5 by August 31st must be enrolled in an approved government, private, or homeschooling program. Don't miss out. Visit schools.edu.ky/registration to learn more and secure a spot for your child today. This message is brought to you from the Department of Education Services.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And if you're listening, thank you very much for taking the time. But please let your friends and family know that presently 89.9 our radio is off. But the YouTube, the Facebook, the app, the website, and all the good friends and family in the Brack and Little Cayman, they're tuned in, right? So we want you to share the joy and the love. We're going to take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
And to you, sir. How are you today?
Knowledge will increase. Every generation weaker and wiser, but knowledge will increase. I can't get 89.9, but I can still get you.
Well, this is the thing, thank you for recognizing that and, understanding that there are always, good things that can happen when we have options. So if you can't find it, one way, what they say, when one door is closed, another door open, right?
Yeah, but it's hell on the old folks, modern technology is hell on the old folks.
Well, I think we're creatures of custom, right? And for me personally, I always prefer a book hardback if I can, but certainly the radio over TV. I prefer personal conversation over some other means, but you have to roll with what you have until you can have what you want,
Yeah, I have a tablet where I got my church lessons and my Bible on it. Okay. But I got an old Bible from 1981, and I still got it right next to me, still love to turn those pages because I got that all different colors with highlighters, and that's what I love. Although the modern technology, a little tablet or on the phone, you can pick it up, but if that book, you ain't got no current.
Yeah, man.
You still got a wheel that you can turn,
What's that thing, the old story?
Tell me what I've been talking about. I hear everybody going crazy about this rain. Few days ago, I never seen like this. This year look bad, it can be a hurricane. When I was growing up in Georgetown, I wasn't wise then because I wasn't living in the East like I am now. I'm living in the East now. But when I was in Georgetown growing up on Maryland, that's when it was called Maryland now, but they changed it over to Mary Street. But they were just a normal Caymanian rain where we, as boys, used to get out and play, and we used to love it. We didn't go in until it was over. It was like in an underdog. But once it was just a pure rain, like what we have now. And I don't know what the people are going crazy about. And I'm going to tell you what, though, they didn't have the places flooding up like this, but what caused that? Mr. Sterling, all of these big buildings and they're building up the roads. And when you build up the roads, when the water falls on the roads, it goes into the people's land. all these big buildings. That is what causing all the flooding is too much buildings. And when they build up, because they got to come up above the level, a certain level, then that goes into the road or drains down into other people's property. And it don't get no better. But the people listening to my voice, don't worry about the rain. That's a whole Caymanian rain. You know how I was talking to a good friend of mine day before yesterday, was saying the whole year was so dry, and the good man above sent 2 days of rain, and that was good enough for one whole year. You imagine? What a God we serve.
What a mighty God we serve, huh?
Meaning they were complaining about the heat. So God gave them a little rain to cool the place down, and they complaining about the water. What a grateful people we are now.
Right. Well, you know what? Thankfully, He's a merciful God. Huh? So, like you, thankful there are others who are prayerful. So I appreciate that very much as we pray for provision and protection. Anything else, Mr. George?
Good thing, like us. But it's telling the people going crazy for the little bit of rain. Enjoy the rain.
Yeah.
And it's so hot. Now we get rain, we complaining that it's too much rain. So what we want? You give them silver, they want gold. You give them gold, they want brass. You give them brass, they want copper. You give them copper, they want silver. What? You know,
Third World,
Third
World has a song, give the people what they want, right?
Man is unthankful, but, just enjoy
man.
in making the mangoes grow beautiful, in the pears, in the fruits,
All right. But thank you very much, Mr. George.
Before I go, Sterling, before I go.
Yes, sir.
Good thing that man can control this. Good thing man can control the weather. Okay? Just be with that.
Yes, sir. And I was going to say thank you for reminding us to be grateful, So thank you for that, sir. And man may not control many, but he tries. For those of us who are prayerful, we are indeed grateful that God is indeed in control. Now, we live in a society that may no longer subscribe to those values and virtues whose ethos may have long gone astray. We may think that in the modern world we no longer need prayerfulness. We call it mindfulness, meditation. Maybe it amounts to the same thing, maybe it doesn't, but it's not about disrespecting others, it's about appreciating that in the differences we are so much more alike. And we want to hear from you, 949-8037, 949-6990. As Mr. George referenced, recognize that even though the radio station in and of itself, 89.9 on Grand Cayman, is off, just as, islands are able to hear us, but also the wider world and the Cayman community through the app, the website, the Facebook, the YouTube. So we're leveraging technology, understanding that it is a good servant but should never be a master. Now, if we recognize that in the absence of us stepping up and standing in the gap and doing the right thing, if we don't do that, what happens? If we don't very consciously, not by default, but by design, very deliberate, stand in the gap to do the right thing, what do you think is going to happen? And if we wait, what they say, we always want to close the gate after the horse is bolted. But yet, you got to be, proactive. Call me, Susan. Let's take this one. Welcome.
Dwayne Sterling or Sterling Dwayne, it's me again.
When Mr. Desmond Seals did that, he joked and said, just have a little fun. And I didn't find it as such until Mr. Dolan did it. And man, I miss him.
Well, you call me Kim Bragg number 2 then.
Nobody, what do you say, who's going to fill their shoes, huh?
Yeah, who got fill their shoes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly, because I remember my old man, my father used to tell me, he say, when the old did, the young can't not got how the experience or the knowledge to pick up the part the old left out, Therefore,
Yep.
That, and we see that, you know what? Come Kim and Bragg, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it all over Kim and Bragg, because when the old folks pass off, everything that they own, just dropping termite eating it right down, or they tear it down. So, but then what I call it, speak about. I hear my friend there just now. I wish I could get her some good bottle of porridge That would boost her voice up.
I think you need to come bring the hand deliver that, man.
Yeah. One of the times I come down, I gotta try bring a good basket of it so I can share it up between you and her.
Well, thank you for that kind
Yeah,
gesture and that wonderful thought. Huh?
Yeah, man. I just come off the road. I mean, Sterling, just now it was horrendous. I went and pick up my daughter, and you couldn't see. I wouldn't even say 100 feet in front of you. You couldn't see. And the people, I don't know a bit of common sense of some of the drivers. I mean, that was a downpour. We just had a white sheet of water in front of you.
Wow.
You can't see 100 feet in front of you. And I drive in about 25 miles per hour and can't go no faster. And all of a sudden on the road, I see this huge black thing coming towards me. And I try and figure out, because, when you know the road, you know something.
Right.
Something different is, that don't make no sense. So then I see this black thing coming towards me. And I say, what is this thing coming up in front of me? And it keep getting closer, That was a crane truck, one of them big trucks that called the extended boom.
Right.
One of them huge extended trucks. I forget what the proper name is they call them, but that was on the road driving in that depth of that rain. And cars coming towards it. And I had to stop and quick time, flash my lights about 100 times. How much it seemed like.
Wow.
But I know it had to be about 25, 30 times I flashed my light at him to try to get him, because he was coming so slow, but yet he was coming towards the cars. And finally, all of a sudden, he turned on his lights.
Wow.
And this truck is illuminated by lights, and that man was trying to come through that rain. Well, he was doing it, driving through that rain in all them cars, pulling over the side because they don't know what this thing is coming towards them.
Jeez.
And I mean, the common sense of some people just ain't there. I don't understand. We got people driving on the street and they can't see 500 feet in front of them, and they want not even 100 feet. Like I said, the visibility was less than 100 feet, and they won't even turn on their light, because you can gauge 100 feet. I think each light pole goes 150 feet apart, and it was just about that I saw this truck coming towards me.
Wow.
And I just don't understand the mentality of some people.
Why would you move that sort of machinery?
Without a company police vehicle with blue lights flashing.
Right, just in general. Yeah.
Man, something seriously wrong with the mentality of people around this place here, man.
Yeah, boy. Jeez.
But you know what? Let me come off of that. But I just wanted to answer let Miss Jan know, because I think she was reference to one thing that she heard me speaking concerning these buildings that they're building here on Kim Brock. They tender them out, Sterling, to other contractors, and didn't give the local contractors a chance to get a piece of that pie. That's what she's talking about.
Okay. And now finish it, and I want to ask you about that since you reference it. Okay.
And yeah, this has to do with the rubbish that they're doing up on the bluff there, where they adding on to that piece of prize puzzle, I call it. That, and you know what? I worked on it for 2.5 years, and I wish to God I didn't have took 2.5 years of it, wasting my time, making them feel like they own something, or not them, certain individual own something such as that building. And now they adding on 2 shoots onto it. I don't know what in the world kind of figuration that is, but anyway, you got to tell me they couldn't tender out that to local contractors here on the Brock that need the work. That need the work in Sterling to feed families. They got to tender it out to other people. I mean, I just when I see and hear these things like this, it just gets me so aggravated. Because we got people, and you know where it boils down from? And here we go again. Don't worry. It got to come from our leaders. Because I can guarantee you, it ain't nowhere else that it coming from but the parliament members for Kim Brock. And it's sad, because when we look towards our leaders for help, they're the one that turns their back on us, and they take the bread and that feeds us and give it to someone else to feed them. And we are left with nothing unless God Almighty provides something for us. I mean, it is out of ridiculousness that I when I see these things on this island, and they just look at us and laugh and take us for what? What they take us for? Game stock is what old people talk about. It's sad, Sterling. It is really sad because most of the people here on the island depend on construction. And if you notice a small island, it ain't that much construction going on constantly. So when government got these big projects coming up like that, the people hoping to get a little piece of the pie. And you think they get it? You think they'll get it? They're not getting nothing. Maybe they might get the affordable homes that they're building. They might get one or two of them. And you got about 5 or 6 different contractors, so each one will get one home each. And that gonna last them now for the next 14, 20 years before they do something again. No, man, this is ridiculous what it does us, man. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm a person when I was out there working with one of the contractors. They used to get the affordable homes projects, and we depended on that. We depended to know that we were a part of that, and we worked on them. And we built a couple of them.
Right. If I sorry, when you finish. Yeah.
No, I mean it just. All of them facilities you see up there by the sports ground. I don't know if you've been there.
Yes.
Those the roof on them is what you call farmhouse roof. The part just lean straight. It is not gable or hip. It's a farm roof.
Yeah.
And we built them buildings. Yeah, we built them buildings, and that we were glad to have the money coming in every time that we get them buildings to do. And now that they got these big projects, I took a drive up yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. The companies that I see there, but yet they couldn't give the tender out one of them places that involved the local contractors into it. Ridiculous on them, man.
Yeah. If you would allow, some of us to maybe have a better insight and understanding relative to what we gather is transpiring, and guide me that I have it correct, and that I'm not misspeaking, misstating, or otherwise misunderstanding. The government of the day is proposing an accommodation project to house workers who come over when projects are being constructed, right?
That's it.
So, to your perspective, adding to what you shared thus far, is that project in and of itself, is the Black community in favor of such a project? They'll build this thing when people come over to build other projects, public or private sector initiatives, that they have a place to stay. How is the Black community's sentiments from your perspective? How did they feel about that?
The majority of the people that I speak to are against it, but Sterling, they already started compacting the ground where they got to start the foundation.
Okay.
But the majority of people are against it because you know why? It only benefiting certain individuals.
Right.
It's not helping the Kimon-Brackers. We see these projects. We don't need these projects.
Right.
We need our people to be fed. We need our people to have a proper pensions. We need payments. We need proper salaries coming in. We don't need these style of rubbish with the every time you turn around.
Right.
Oh, they're going to build this. They're going to build that. For who?
Okay.
And for what? That is my question. Who are they building these for?
Right.
You got build on that multi-purpose building. They got put on 2 extensions on that to house people to come here, contractors to come here on this island to build. So what you telling me? Or let me clear it up a little better for you, Sterling. You know what they're telling me? They're telling me for the rest of their entire time in government that they're going to bring in private investors here to build for Kimon-Brack, and the locals get nothing.
Okay.
That is simple.
Right. So that could be a reasonable inference. Let me then ask, from the back perspective, from what you hear, what, if any, is the expectation of projects that they're hearing that might be under consideration to be constructed by government as well as by private sector?
This whole initiatives of this school is where all of this is coming from.
Okay.
It's coming about the school. Now, let me get it clear to the listening public. I am not against the school. I am against the school, the maximum size of that school, the dimension of that school, the proximity of the size of that school. That school of that magnitude, we don't need on Kim Brock. And people might sit down and say, oh, he talking this and he talking that. Listen, Sterling, we do not have the accommodation for that size school.
The population
No
for it.
how.
Right.
Kim Brockers don't have it. We don't have that much students. We don't have that much children.
Okay.
Unless they plan on bringing in every nationality from all four corners to fill up Kim Brock, just to say they fill the school.
Okay.
That is something else. So this is what they're doing it for, just to build that school. And it may sound like I'm against the school. No, I'm not. I would love to see the school built because you know what? Hopefully they'll use their common sense and use that school for a hurricane shelter or anything else.
Probably, yeah.
I hope they do something as
Let me ask, and I thank you for sharing your perspective, right? And I'm asking this, and whatever I say is not just out of a great sense of love and respect, but a genuine attempt to try to understand. I would be honored if the Brackers would welcome me as they have thus far into their communities. If I stay there for any extended period, or if I just come over for a couple hours, right? It's always been great. It's like home in a sense, right? But I share that just to ask. In listening to a few of the Brackers who are still there, some who are over here in Grand Cayman, a few have shared, what if government was to, instead of building an accommodation project, was to somehow find a fund through a loan guarantee program, public funds, the money that they would spend on these projects, and allowed the Brack residents to build one apartment in addition to the house, build a duplex or fourplex, whatever size, and then that becomes a rental property. So that when people come over, it serves as the same purpose, but instead of being centralized as one facility, it'll be similar to what you have in Grand Cayman, where people have, a little bit of rental income. Not many people, only a small number, have said something very similar. I thought this was an opportune time to sort of ask that. What is your view on that? That we facilitate private sector development, having the owners construct these things that are similar to apartments that would be available to people who want to rent when they come over for the projects, if that was the intent.
Berlin, when you stop and think about that, who do we have to go through in order to get those plans passed?
The Development Control Board and the like, you mean?
You have to go through the planning.
Yeah. Is it called the Development Control Board over there?
So if government know that you are doing this in order to stop them from putting down what got benefit them, you think that they got pass your plan to say you going to put down a duplex to house 14 or 12, 14 investors that come in here to build? You think they're going to pass that? Listen, they don't want to even pass 6 inches onto our fence for us to go 6 inches higher than 4 feet. You think they got past something like that? They got knocked the government out of their plans to benefit them? They're doing these things for their beneficial in Sterling. They're not doing it for us. So they're going to hinder us from building these apartments that we can rent.
But isn't that interesting, right?
I'm not saying that let me clarify that first. I'm not saying that it mightn't be a possibility. They might let 1 or 2 slide with it. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But everyone not going to be able to. I can guarantee you that.
Right. But here's the parallel, right? On Grand Cayman, you hear many, in the private sector in particular, who quickly expound that the government should not be in competition with the private sector. Right? It should facilitate through policies and legislation to ensure that people can, in this capitalist market, do that thing that they should do and not be in competition. But yet, the current sort of versus happening in the BRAC where government initiatives. Now, I'm only trying to share what I think I heard and understood, but in asking you, maybe I'll be, better edified, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, when you stop and think about it, who is the majority? Is it the government or the private sector?
Majority in what? In what sense? I don't want to infer.
Yeah, and when it comes to in infrastructure, buildings or anything like that.
And then on the BRAC specifically?
Yeah, that's what. Yes. Well, you know what? Use Grand Cayman.
Okay.
Use Grand Cayman.
Okay.
Who the majority? Is it the government or the private sector? Who you see?
Well, the government drives the economy,
Well,
right?
let me answer it to you, sir. Because I can answer it because they can't do me nothing. They can stop you from buying chocolate, but they can't stop me from buying chocolate. let me answer it to you. It's the private sector because you don't see the government billing nothing for the Caymanians.
Hey, thank you for having my back.
Exactly. I take the weight off your back. The government should be doing for the Caymanians, but the government is only doing for the private sector.
Right.
So they allow them to do as they please. That is why yesterday when that guy came on about the majority of the land, 75% of the land being owned by a certain private sector, that is what causes, because the government has no intentment for the locals to have an increase in their own country. Our government, our government is doing this. It's not a foreign government. It's our own government that is hindering the furtherance of the people advancing in their own island. Can you imagine?
When
you stop and think about that, you wonder, you know what? I was thinking yesterday, I remember when I used to go to the store and buy a soda, a Coke, for 35 cents. You know how much you buy a Coke today for?
$4?
No, $1, almost $2.
Okay.
Can you imagine? And like what my father always used to say, when the government scratch hands with the merchants, you can look for your country to fail. And I see it every day what he said. When the government scratch their hand with merchants, you're going to have your country fall where they can't feed the people can't feed themselves, and it's biblical in a way.
Yeah, man.
The Bible says the rich can't sell and the poor can't buy.
Listen,
so,
thanks, right?
All I can tell you, I'll bring you a bottle of porridge when I come on and tell Miss John I'll get her hers.
All right. Well, if I come across now before I do, I'll give you a heads up so you can. All right, bro.
All right, bro. Later, man.
All right. Listen. The phone lines are open. We want you to call and share. And if we have, as he did, each other's back, we're going to find that, we'll get there together. And when we do, we can celebrate. A couple of things I'll share with you, but give us a shout. 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp call, 925-32621. I know many of us don't like numbers unless we play them on Sunday. That's good. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Just in time for summer. It's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Introducing the new Shoreline iMap. Discover over 300 plus public shoreline access points in the Cayman Islands by using a new digital interactive map of all the public access pathways and beaches. Test out the new Shoreline iMap today and get walking or driving directions, see 360-degree street views, and find out what amenities are available at any shoreline access point found on the iMap. Dive into a world of coastal beauty and adventure. Use the Shoreline iMap today by visiting gov.ky/shoreline. Presented by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And thank God for the, as the caller shared, for the mercies on high, the blessings bestowed upon the land. Maybe to wash away the sins, maybe, quell the affairs, maybe. Just maybe. It's open line though, 949-8037, 949-6990, or 89.9 on the radio is still, trying to get that up and going, but the, website, the YouTube, the Facebook, the Radio Cayman app is there, and all of our friends and family in the BRAC, thank you. So maybe today we hear increasingly from our friends in the BRAC. So tell your neighbors who sometimes listen. Just remind them. Help us to spread the word, because if we don't share it together, you'll find that things are much, much more enjoyable when we have more people who are able to partake. Just like the wealth and riches of a nation, just like the celebrations and the buffets, I believe the more that come together with hands and hearts unified, the better the celebration, the greater the joy, the more the triumph can be appreciated. 949-8037, 949-8037, 949-6990. If nothing else, when you call, you get Susan's voice as she answers the phone. We'll take that when she puts through the calls. So again, share with others. This is the beauty of radio. Unlike television, where it's a little bit of a challenge. Think about you're fishing. Maybe you're in the backyard. Maybe you're just in your car. you can listen to the radio much easier than you can watch something. 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp call 925-3261. But to the callers prior, and I made a couple of notes and was asking, what do we do? I think there was much that was inferred and alluded to, much that we can look at and either agree or we can dissect and say, I wonder. But if what we're doing isn't something that is beneficial, then why are we doing it? And even if it is beneficial, as callers have asked, well, for whom and for how many? And at what cost? And who is it costing? Now, our first caller talked about the, Russian sort of, military hardware through ships and the like moving into the Caribbean region. There are some who can remember the Cuban Missile Crisis. There are some who can recall it only because of the stories of their parents and grandparents. Others have studied it in school. But there were some who are still here at that time. And if you listen to them talk about it even to this day, what's that, 60 odd years? Yeah, wow. There's still a sense of trembling and trepidation in their voices as to the potential of a nuclear war at that time. Where we are today, some would share that we're probably just on the precipice of another global conflict. Some were questioning, will there be civil wars in the US and other places? Some were wondering to what extent the crisis in Israel will escalate. We can see the impact on the shipping lanes, and it doesn't matter whether you call it a proxy war. Lives are being lost, and that is something that cannot, it just hurts, man, to think about it, to recognize that in many instances the global established media that is supposedly reputable and credible is not timely nor accurate in its reporting, and to what extent that leads to many not being as trusting as they should of what was once and probably never will be again, termed the fourth estate. And our citizen journalists have gone from sharing information that is credible to something that is a narrative to be misconstrued or deliberate and directly presented in a way that could, some would allege, amount to nothing more than propaganda, disinformation, which is unfortunate. And this is where increasingly that need to be the critical thinkers, to ask questions. I think our good guest yesterday shared, maybe it's not any longer about trust but verify. It's just about verifying. To our callers who are trying to get through, just bear with you. Miss Susan had to attend to something just quickly, and then she'll answer the calls. So if you can hear us, just hang on. We see you ringing. We just can't get to you just yet. So that falls to me to fill in the gap. But we'll answer the calls in short order. Just as they say, hold tight. 949-8037, 949-6990. We certainly want to take the calls, and we will, as she is able to answer it in a second. But to call and share with your other colleagues, friends, family, and the like that for now, temporarily, radio-wise, 89.9 is off on Grand Cayman, but we are still very, very much actively engaged and listen to on the back. But the website, the YouTube, the Facebook, and the app are all functioning. So we will take these calls as soon as we can. 949-8037, 949-6990. And just seconds away from having the red button connect to the blue button. And as we take the call, who knows who's on? Let's take it, Miss Susan. All right. Let's go to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling. I think we'll go to the WhatsApp call first. All right. WhatsApp call. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you today?
Man, I'm doing good and I'm just enjoying the little weather. Boy.
I'm glad that you are. Yes.
Yeah, man, definitely. I one thing I was observing is the rain, how it flood the where the cricket field is. It's like since the last rain, still flooded
The
a little
old,
bit.
yeah, the old agriculture grounds, huh?
Right, you know, and I was just thinking to myself like how long it usually would take to not just drain but get out of the road, get
Yeah.
off of the road, like because now you have to use the one of the opposite direction lane. Not right now, but for the past couple of days you had to use the other lane that was coming in the opposite direction to get around the water.
Uh-huh.
And I was saying like if it anything had to do with impacting the length of the flood with the new extension they did with the airport where they covered up that little pond that was there,
Yeah, yeah.
across the road. They have that cement structure. If I heard right, Kenneth Bryan was talking the other day about the drain around the not a drain but the little banking of water that goes around the airport, the runway,
Right.
and how it drains off into the water, like into the sea. I was thinking like maybe if they would think about adding a drain to the level of where the road would be, like, relieved of the flood into the airport area, and then just like how they do it in like cities like California. When I go there, I see these big drains. Most of the time they're empty, but when they really do need it, that's like a flooding river going through. And I was just saying like maybe if they had the drains directed into those areas through the road, I guess they would have to close down that road for like 1 or 2 days. I don't know how long they would take,
Right.
asking them to do anything. They'll extend it as long as it can bring in money.
Right. So making little culverts then where the water can flow onto
Right,
the
I would
roads and the
just-
like. Okay.
Yeah, I would just assume that would be a good idea because I don't live in the eastern districts, but I could remember when I used to live in North Sound Estates. The little highway that they got now that they've recently put in 2 lanes now, the new highway going up to Savannah.
Uh-huh.
That used to flood like you couldn't even think about walking across that water and in between those lanes. And just by the fact that maybe if they block certain areas now to occupy more road space, for example, would that contribute any more flooding than lessen it?
Yeah.
I was listening pretty close about what former Premier Ponton was talking about with the drains, how they position, and only certain areas where the drain would position in a way that you would have been like, why they didn't put it another way? And then by the studies that is showing these experts doing this and that, and I'm like, are they setting up these areas for flooding, or are they setting these areas up to prevent flooding? Because all you hear about is more new areas where they have flooding, more neglected areas where they should have been concentrating on, but because they have new planning going on, that they just ignore the usual suspects just to cater to the ones that are like in a higher concern, I would say. And even when I think about certain flooded areas, I remember when you go in the airplane, because I haven't left this island since 2018. I don't know if they changed those rules or requirements that you have to be prepared to evacuate or at least lead if you're going to sit down in the emergency row, the emergency exit row. I don't know if these people that are living in these flood-prone areas are even prepared to evacuate if necessary, because they're already informed that they know that these are flood-prone areas. Like the lack of information, first of all, is one of the biggest problems I see in this island when it comes into hazard management.
Right. Well, as we go into the break, I don't want to dismiss you, but I'm trying to be mindful. Anything else you want to share with us?
Well, no, I just wanted to spark up that because the radio feed was off. I couldn't hear. I don't know what the topic was today, but as I was on the road, I mean, I'm seeing things, and I'm like, to me, it baffles me how we haven't got these things correct yet in 2024 since Ivan.
Indeed. Well, we are aware that 89.9 on Grand Cayman is off. We are broadcasting through our app, the website, the Facebook and the YouTube, but of course on the back, they can still hear us directly. So at least thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
All right.
man. All the best to you.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
All right. Well, Miss Susan says, remember who's in charge. And I say, where my mom is. All right. We're going to pause, take that break. And when we come back, more talk today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman will be broadcasting tonight's public consultation on Plan Cayman live from the Church of God in Boddentown from 7 until 9 p.m. Tonight's consult will focus on the 2024 Draft Planning Statement. Plan Cayman is the proposed development plan for the Cayman Islands, setting out long-range policies and proposals for physical development and use of land. View the planning statement at www.plancayman.ky and share your feedback at tonight's public consultation meeting in Boddentown at the Church of God, broadcasting live on Radio Cayman from 7 until 9 p.m.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as you heard Ms. Susan just share, the Plan Cayman meeting at the Church of God in Boddentown is going to be broadcast live here on Radio Cayman. We are presently aware that 89.9 on Grand Cayman is off, but your YouTube, Facebook, the app, and the Radio Cayman website, www.gov.ky or Radio Cayman, is available. Should we go to the phones, Ms. Susan? Or should we just, take an early exit and go fishing? I'm just kidding. All seriousness though, I genuinely appreciate and have appreciated up until this second right now, the opportunity to sit and facilitate. I appreciate your love and I welcome your prayers. Thank you so much, for this invaluable opportunity. It's a sobering reminder of the importance of us to stand in the gap. And I trust that as each day unfolds, that we'll find a way to make ourselves helpful, and that we will be mindful of the importance of being positive and proactive and productive, purposeful and prayerful, but as importantly, to be poised that when either we're called upon or when the need arises, that we're able to respond. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon again, Dwayne. Raymond here.
Mr. Raymond, sir, thank you for taking time to call us back.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are always concerned about our shipments to the Bright with the tug and barge. Well, it's barge loaded with cargo and should be to the creek around 3 o'clock this evening. and the weather is a light chop on the north side, not that bad. So hopefully you will get discharged starting this evening or tomorrow morning, something like that. So our weekly shipment is here, so that's what we're solely dependent on getting the things to the Bright, just the tug and barge. And another thing I want to put there, put out to the public, about this Zeus project, the large harbor marina that was planned for Cayman Brac. There are so many people have called me and asked me, including people from Grand Cayman, what's the latest on it. And we keep hearing conflicting stories. Many stories have said that it was squashed. It was squashed. It was not going ahead. And then we're hearing that it's going to go ahead and be approved and things like that. So we, the public of Cayman Brac, needs to know what is the present plans with the Zeus Marina, whether it's going to be done or not going to be done. There's a lot of questions about that marina in Cayman Brac from the members of the public.
Right. Now, if I might ask you, if and only if you wish to share, one, what is your view? Are you in favor of it, or you're not sure yet?
My view about it, from many years ago, I seen the need for a nice protected harbor in the Brac to provide access for boats from Grand Cayman coming over during the Easter and during the Christmas. And we don't have any proper place for them. And also, there's business from foreign yachts. We've been getting plenty stopovers from sailing yachts, catamarans and things like that. And they have to be on the mooring out here. Mostly they moor at near Scott's Dock area, West End area. And when it's bad weather on the south side, weather gets bad here, they just got to ride it out on the mooring or depart and try and make their way to the next destination. But if we had a small protective harbor, they could come inside and get their amenities and whatever they need and spend time here and bring some money into the economy. Because I notice the people from the yachts, they all stock up with their food supplies. I see them go into the marketplace quite frequently when they come on off the western area at the mooring or at the anchorage and stocking up with food supplies to make their journey either to Cuba or Panama or Belize or wherever they go. So it can bring in money into the island's economy by having yachts to stop by into a nice marina. But it is hard to say the outlook from Cayman Brac as what it will be, whether it's the majority is for it or the majority is against it. That is the thing.
Yes, sir.
It all depends on that.
Yes, sir. And I think this is, from what you're sharing, the important part of governance, where those elected as well as appointed are able to have a vision and willing to execute it, but also in consultation with those who are going to be impacted by it and not be perceived as favoring one side or the other, whether it's the electorate or whether it's the, that person, for whom this project is going to be financed or constructed or whichever. So do you, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yes, sir. And a lot of people don't know. I mean, the younger people don't know about the planned marina for Cayman Brac. This was being done about 40 years ago. They diverted the road up against the bluff, nearer to the bluff there by Bat Cave from the beach road. David Duane, which was a rich man in the tanker business, had planned to make a marina there on the south coast of the island. That would have been down to the west of where Bat Cave area would have been. It's a pond there, and they had did a test for the hardness of the rock and all that. Scott Development had done that. That was a planned marina there. But the man changed his plans. He had paid government, I think the fee to divert the road, I heard it was a $25,000 license or permit, something to get the road shifted from his property on the beach to against the bluff nearer to the Bat Cave. That's why the road is detoured and curved badly around that area. The beach road was a very straight road. So that was planned for about 40 years ago, and he changed his mind and he didn't go through with it, and he took that money and bought a laid-up tanker, one of the biggest in the world, and repaired that and put that into business, and then that went as a flop. That planned where they called Beach Point, Cayman Brack, near the Bat Cave area. So that was a planned marina, but it did not go through. I mean, he changed his mind. He had like approvals for it, but it didn't happen. So many of the yachts, I mean, that comes here or passes by, they don't have anywhere to protected area to stop. So they could stop and be in nice, pleasant, calm waters up inside a protected harbor, and it would help the economy with that kind of thing. But it depends on the majority, like I said, of Cayman Brackers, what they want and what they don't want.
Right.
So that has to be a decision on that.
Yes, sir. Well, this is where, as we listen to, what the political director of the day is trying to propose, we also are cognizant of what the people are prepared to, accept. So thanks very much, Mr. Raymond, for sharing with us, sir.
Yeah, and something else. I know the Cayman Islands now, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, with the ship registry, the biggest registry in the world of mega yachts, super yachts, mega yachts.
60%, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Georgetown is printed on the stern of these mega yachts, super yachts.
Right.
All over the world they are, and there's many more coming on registration. And there are many tankers or carriers now flying the Cayman Island flag. We had a tanker pass through this area, past Grand Cayman, 300,000-ton ship, around 1,100 feet long, flying the Cayman Island flag. But I just wanted to tell the public something interesting. I communicated with a Cayman Island flag tanker, which is the biggest chemical tanker in the world. That was about 2 weeks ago, and asked the nationality of captain, officers, and crew. And it's registered in Georgetown. The captain is Russian. It had Ukrainian officers, Latvian officers, Filipino officers, Croatian, and also from the Yugoslav continent. So like 6 different nationalities was on that Cayman Island flag tanker.
Yes, sir. Mr. Raymond, I have to respectfully ask. I want to pick it up. Thanks to Ms. Susan for giving us a few seconds. We got the news, so forgive us for interjecting. All right, stay tuned. Join us after.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The police are requesting the public's assistance to find 16-year-old Joshua Whitaker. Last seen at his West Bay residence around 9:30 p.m., Joshua has not returned since leaving without permission. He is described as 6 feet 5 inches tall with a slim build and a light brown complexion. The public is reminded that harboring a minor is a criminal offense. If you have any information on Joshua's whereabouts, please contact the Georgetown Police Station or the MASH unit immediately. In regional news, Bermuda's Health Minister Kim Wilson is calling for sustained vigilance against COVID-19 following 6 fatalities this year. As of June 8th, there have been 303 reported cases. The Ministry of Health is closely monitoring the situation, advocating for continued hygiene practices and social distancing. Those with suspected symptoms are urged to get tested and self-isolate. The Bermuda Hospitals Board is taking extra precautions, including quarantining affected areas and emphasizing the necessity of masks and deferring hospital visits if symptomatic to protect those at high risk. A major drug bust by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection in San Juan has resulted in the confiscation of 450 pounds of cocaine, valued at around $4 million. The narcotics were ingeniously concealed within a container chassis aboard a vessel from the Dominican Republic. The successful operation underscores the agency's dedication to thwarting drug trafficking and fortifying national security. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
The Radio
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments June 10th to June 15th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited.
Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.portercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment has worked to protect and conserve the unique plants, animals, and habitats that make the Cayman Islands so special. Learn more at conservation.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us now. I can barely hear myself there. I can hear me now. Well, this open line, thank you for joining us on this rainy afternoon. 949-8037, 949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp 925-32621. Are we ready to take the calls, Miss Susan? And we'll only take calls to the highest bidder. Who's going to bring the best chocolate? Which phone are we going to, Mom? Left? Right? All right. Well, it's not like the government boots, that song. 949-8037, 949-6990. Some of you asking, why am I smiling? Why am I happy? Because I'm alive. If there's life, there's hope. And then there's hope. There might be help. And with their help, there may be those people who might actually, benefit. So let's draw closer, join hands and hearts, and let's unite. Let's recognize that the place in which we live is only better because we make it so, but it will be worse if we consciously ignore or deliberately try to defile or otherwise divide. 949-8037, 949-6990. And to all that has been said earlier with the inclement weather, with sometimes torrential downpours and the like, that we recognize that if you are prone to flooding, whether the roads are impassable at times, and the area which you live isn't so subjected to standing water, just be mindful as you move about. But if where you are is and has been for as long as you've been there, kind of get waterlogged, just be careful, be cognizant, and as you cautious to move about the community, you would acknowledge that there's much that you can do. Now, the development, as many have shared, may have caused the surrounding properties to flood because the property on which that new structure is constructed is now higher and causing the water to drain off, or it's in fact just developed, and what was once seasonal swamp or other low-lying areas that may now have been filled, it may cause more flooding. As a caller two shared, the roads that are being constructed are probably, whether intended or unintended, acting as dams, and as the rains come and flood the lands, they're now banked and can't move across from one space in absence of culverts or the like. Perhaps the destruction of vegetation from mangroves and other similar may cause those areas now to not allow water to be impeded, but just flow freely. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And why are we doing it? 949-8037, 949-6990. Let's try this call. What do you think? All right, we join him. Thank you, Miss Susan. She's at times my eyes and my ears. I'll leave it at that. Let's take this call. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hello, Dwayne. Again, I just forgot to advise you or the public about the Seaman's tribute for Mr. Trevor Watler. The late Trevor Watler was a good friend of mine.
Yes, sir. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, he worked with national bulk carriers. He was a seaman that traveled many places around the world. So as you know, I am the person that always arranges for ships to come by the island to do a series of horn blasts while passing or lighting up the ocean. Let the light shine, let it shine in the nighttime, honoring our seamen as the last respects go out to them. So at around between 5 and 6 this evening, I have an ore carrier, Italian ore carrier, which is coming from Saudi Arabia, loaded with fertilizer, phosphate fertilizer, and is going to New Orleans, Mississippi River for discharging, and it will be passing around between 5 and 6, about 5 miles off the north side of Grand Cayman. And the ship is the Gio Cometi. Gio Cometi is the Italian ore carrier of around 75,000 tons. That was the size of many of them that national bulk carriers had as well.
That endeavor, Mr. Raymond, not just pays tribute, but it reflects on our history and our heritage and the immense respect we have for our seafarers. So I know families and friends appreciate it, but by extension, so it does the wider community. So thank you very much for doing that, sir.
Yes, and for the residents to look out between 5 and 6, depending on the speed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's estimated to be passing between 5 and 6 off the north side of Grand Cayman. So up around the Queens Highway, the eastern part of the island, it would be the closest point of passage would be there.
Which would be fitting, right? Because Mr. Trevor, So thank you for that, sir. So yes, 5 and 6. Okay. Anything else, sir?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
All the best.
All the best. And as I listen to, the concerted effort, very consistent on the part of Mr. Raymond to do that. He does it for the seafarers and for their wives and for recognizing. For us, and if at any point you find that what I say may cut close to home, or you think, well, it's a personal interest or like, let me know. But I share this without any apology. Healthy respect for our seafarers, for our maritime heritage. And to be the son of a seafarer, to understand that even just going out for a few hours at sea, or as we would say overnight, or to spend a few days even just out fishing, you recognize what it is. You're on your sea legs. But to do what they have done, and some continue to, it's a lot. It's a significant commitment. It wasn't, as we look at it now, an adventure. It was a life fraught with danger. It's one that, yes, they saw the world, many times over, but it wasn't always, this fun-filled fantasy romanticized by many. It was, as all of us too easily know, it ended sometimes in tragedy. So that respect that we have for them, that small discretionary payment that we offer, does very little to show our gratitude and say thanks, for their investment, and in many cases, the ultimate sacrifice. And this is why when I look at the Maritime Authority, the Cayman Shipping Registry, as Mr. Raymond alluded to, its commanding presence in the super yacht space, it tells us that we are not only heavily respected, but we drive in many cases. And the notion that we have in our country, as in maritime, we have in aviation, Mr. Walton and Mr. Smith, Caymanians who are able and have picked up the mantle to carry on from our forefathers. And as we upbring and instill in our younger, those same values and virtues, that we ensure that they have a sense of presence and an understanding that they have a future. And when they feel that they are guests in their own country, I think that is where the line has to be drawn. Because too often many Caymanians have all said that they're starting to feel like second-class citizens. So if you are a Caymanian because your generational roots go back, or you're a Caymanian because you just, have received that piece of paper, well, where are your loyalties, and where and how and what are we doing to ensure that we come together? If you don't think this is a great place, try looking at the news, try traveling, try asking those who are from other places. And if all you're planning to do is to take, maybe your spirit needs to be checked. But if you're cussing and complaining, likewise. I don't say that to inflame, not to offend, but I don't say it with an apology. And I believe the time is now where we come together and recognize that much as we can see and recognize the traffic congestion and the inconsiderate driving. I call the earlier reference. We talk of the crane truck, the boom truck driving. It may just be somebody who is inadvertent, inattentive, inconsiderate, perhaps unintentional. But what would be the consequence if a lower vehicle was to, collide? You cannot ring the bell nor rewind the hands of time. So let's be considerate. Take a very, 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 very simple thing that we experience daily. Some would say hourly on our roads. As we go around the roundabouts, many are on the outside lane, not passing one but two but three, but all of the exits. Now, is that something that they've been told that is supposed to happen? Or is it that we're not stopping to think? Now, if you're in outside lane and you go past the first exit, maybe it's your second. But if you find yourself going past more than two, is that safe? Is that sensible? Doesn't matter whether there's a consequence to that action in terms of, being legally sanctioned. But if there's an accident, All right, 949-8037, 949-6990. Want you to call and share. And I know we're getting close to the end of today's programming, but as we invite you to call, tell your friends and co-workers who are not able to, perhaps hear us, that we are still broadcasting on the BRAC, on the radio, but here and everywhere else. We got the YouTube, the Facebook, the website, and the app. And it's a good time to download it, because sometimes you never know. Your radio may not be working, and as portable and accessible as it is that you can carry with you, having the technology and the other options through the use of our technologies on the internet and the like, we can do and be able to have people share with us. 949-8037, we saw a WhatsApp call. We'll try to get to that as Miss Susan navigates the many different channels. So ring us back again. 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp 925-326-1. And to that last call that you just tried, sorry we didn't get you in time, so ring us back and we'll try again. But as today's show draws to a close, let's be prayerful, expectant that tomorrow, as the sun sets, the dawn will once again emerge. And to what, are we going to contribute? Is it going to be positive and productive? Are we going to be, complaining and cussing? Or are we going to be critical thinkers who are constructive in our conversations? 949-8837, 949-6990. Oh, Miss Susan, where do we go now? Quick pause, keep talking, sing? Want us to sing? I did ask her, and I always appreciate her great recall of music. At the end of the program, she'll play a song, and for those who listen, it may resonate with some or with someone, and we'll see where it takes us, right? But between now and then, knowing that our parliament will soon be in session once again, are we looking at the legislation that is being proposed, from new to amended? Let's take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Hi, Mr. Dwayne. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, good to hear from you. How's the weather up there?
It's rainy also. We were doing fine, had some sunshine and for the past couple of days.
Was it chilly?
We were having some good sunshine, but today's rainy also.
Okay, I understood it was a bit chilly at some point.
Yeah, it was chillier this about 3 hours ago, and it still is.
Okay.
The rain is here also. But not as heavy, just light rain.
Okay, well, good to know you're safe and glad to hear from you.
The weather up here is you can get all the seasons in one day. This morning I woke up and it was nice and sunny and warm. I don't need my jacket. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me take it just in case. And so done.
Yep,
glad you needed it.
Like the Cub Scout, man. Always be prepared.
This weather is like, I call it woke weather. It's trying to please everybody, You got the snow, the rain, the sunshine, everything in one day.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. I like how you put that. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking time. I'm always glad to hear from everybody and for those who, who make an effort.
Yeah. Just something while you were talking about flooding and all this thing going on in Cayman. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a old-time Caymanian home, and it was in stilts.
Wow.
And I remember, and that's in Georgetown, and inland in Georgetown is on stilts, and it used to flood. And during the rainy season, we would play in the porch and kind of watch the water go down, And we never had a problem with the heavy rains, and I don't, maybe the development is causing more flood. But I remember we still had flood in our yard,
Yeah.
And we just had to wait till the water go down, and that was it. But the house was on stilts, so we were all right. I mean, really high up on stilts.
Isn't that interesting, right? Go ahead, Peter. I'll ask you more, but go ahead.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I was going to ask you more, but I want you to expound on that because that particular house that you referenced, to your knowledge, at that time, how long ago was that house built? I mean, by then, was that 50 years built prior, or was,
That was a very old house because there were a couple of farmers before us that had occupied that house.
Right. And why I'm asking, because people back then...
And that was a very old Cayman house, and I think it's still standing today. It should still be there.
Yeah.
It's been through all the hurricanes, and it did fine.
Yeah. So they understood.
Yeah, but I definitely remember the yard flooding right up to the breadfruit tree roots. Couldn't see the breadfruit tree root.
Wow.
And we had some high steps, and we could get inside the house and went back and forth to school, and everything was fine. We just had to wait about a week, and then the water went down. So I say that to say that maybe we kind of lost touch. We need to listen to our environment and say, this is what our environment is telling us. We need to design our homes according to our environment. I know some people like the fancy homes, the concrete this, and they want it to look modern and stuff, but we live on an island, and we need to not lose focus of where we're living. We can still keep the inside modern, but the outside and the foundation needs to be high on stilts. You can build it in a way that it doesn't look like it's on stilts too, you know?
Right.
It's very creative ways of building homes. But and I don't know if it was a wooden house. A wooden house, yeah. It had a zinc roof, and it's nice when the rain is on. You can hear the first drop when the rain starts with this zinc roof. Puts you to sleep.
Put you to sleep, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, and it probably didn't get as hot either, right? When you had to close it up because of the rains, right?
Oh, no, I actually don't remember being. That's what I was saying. I was sitting here thinking, I don't remember being that hot in that house.
Yep.
But other homes that I've lived in, I was very hot in the concrete house. But that particular house, I don't remember being very hot.
Yeah.
So I think and from then I was in school. I like architectural designing, and I designed my house on stilts. I still have it up till today with some slight variations. My home design is on stilts.
Yeah.
And lots of windows and a high roof, and because I know where I live. I live on an island, you know. So and I thought, you know what, I need to put my house on stilts because it might flood, hurricane might come, all kinds of thoughts went through my mind, and I think people kind of lose focus on where we're at when it comes to constructing their homes.
Yeah.
And same thing goes with the the CUC bills and the cost of running a house with AC and electrical costs. Like I was just saying, lots of windows to keep the house cool, and a high roof, and a porch.
Good
porch
overhang.
helps to keep your house keeps the house cool. If not, you can sit on the porch and be cool, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and keep it in the tropical island look, and
Pay homage
be
to the
sweating in
traditional
a
design.
concrete box.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Pay homage to the traditional design, right? Make sure the local vernacular is reflected in the architecture and construction.
And the comfort element, it's cheap. It costs you less in the long run.
Yeah.
And you'd be safe. You wouldn't have to worry about CUC bills, and you won't have to worry about flooding. But it's probably too late to talk about these things. So most homes now are built from concrete, and they're not as high as some of the old time homes used to be.
Yeah.
So,
you know, but
and my stepfather was a builder, and he built his house, a concrete house, 6 block heights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I helped him to build that foundation too.
Yeah.
That was a very high-end.
Was that
foundation?
Did he consciously build that foundation because the surrounding area was low lying and prone to flooding?
I think he probably had that in mind, because where that house is, that's in the you know where the Agape Church is?
Yeah.
And it's around that area, and that area there is kind of rockier. It's still a high elevation in some spots, but I think he just knew that, you know, this was the best thing to do, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
As a builder, you know, he say, you know, even though it's a little bit higher than most places, he still is gonna make it that high.
Yeah.
He said.
I guess he understood the lay of the land, and perhaps a nod to, you know, past sort of building types and styles and what have you. But you are right. You know, what are we doing now to ensure that we are building and keeping, you know, with the local environment, right?
Yeah, you listen to your environment. Your environment tells you, you know, what to do.
Yeah, man.
You know, look around you. I think we kind of got swayed by the fancy homes overseas, and you're seeing, you know, what's in other countries, and oh, that looks nice, but lost touch on, like I said, keeping it high off the ground.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe it was cost too. It might be costly to have a high foundation too. Could be the cost in some cases. I could see that.
Yeah.
Could be the cost.
Possibly.
To build a house 6 block heights, that takes a lot of fill.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. Well, it's something to consider.
There's also creative ways of building a home too. But I guess it's a bit too late to be talking about that now. Dam is already done, so
Yeah. Well,
I don't think. I mean, my personal house that I already did from I was in school. If I will get the money to build that, that definitely will go on stilts and concrete stilts for sure.
well, I hope you get a chance to realize that, it'd be good. That dream come to fruition. You got to build it. And
yeah.
All right. As we wrap up today's show, what are the thoughts you want to leave with us?
Too many thoughts
Too
going
many?
through my mind. Just be safe, drive careful, and I don't want to hear another accident.
Yes, thank you for that, man. And
So drive careful on the roads. That's it.
all right, but you do the same on that side. All right.
Thank you.
And I always appreciate, feel free to send us your thoughts, jot them down. When you call, you have your points, and always grateful to engage with you. All the best to you. Okay.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Take care, man. This is where radio is immediate, it's impactful. It allows us to not only convey a message, but to engage in a way that probably other forms do not allow. So thank you all for listening, for sharing, for joining. The songs that Susan plays always soothes the soul and brings you closer. There was one that I was saying to her, how did it go? Listen to my heart and you will find. And hey, it's that love that we want, that agape love, that love that we will share with each other, recognizing that we are more alike than we are different, yet we let ourselves be divided from economic to education to ethnicity, to all sorts of things. And yet this is the time more than ever that we must unite. As we unify our voices, our hands and our hearts, we'll find that together, or we can make it better. But it has to be, a concerted effort. So as we move about our roads today, in the words of the last caller, please be a little bit more careful and cautious. Driving in today, I saw from the big truck to the small vehicle. Rain is coming and you can barely see where you're going, but yet they are traveling at higher than sensible speeds. Let's arrive safely. Let's slow it down as we move through our roundabouts. If you're not quite sure, ask somebody. This is what you're doing. Is that the right way? My understanding, and I double checked again, if you are in the outside lane, that is the lane that is not close to that center piece that may be in most cases landscape in some form or fashion, that if you stayed in it, you go round and round and round and round and round and never come off. So if you're in a lane that is in the outside, the first exit is yours, definitely the second one. If you're going past that, you're blocking everybody else who's exiting. You are likely to be, hit broadside. So stay there. Somebody told you that's what to do, they're wrong. Please be careful. Stop signs are there for a reason. It's not a suggestion. The speed limit likewise. Too many of us are practicing things that we're not quite sure was the common sort of play from other places that we lived and stayed. Let's get it right. Let's do it here so that we be safe. Please join Mr. Art tomorrow morning for the record. We had invited Ray Banker to join us for talk today. Hopefully he'll find some time in his day to join us. We got a few things in the last hour that closes out when we focus on medical information education. But that's tomorrow. For now, let's listen to Susan as she plays the songs that soothes the soul when the heavens open up and pour the blessings upon the land to wash away the sins of man. Because we know our women, that's the best. Susan, can I hear from you before we close out? No? She say, I'm good, but not that good. What she want you to say? Well, she's going to say this. She's going to say, hey, Radio Cayman listeners, thank you very much for joining us. Sterling is the man. He has the plan.
No,
He's
I'm
in
not
Cayman.
Sterling. No, I'm not going to say that.
I'm not going to say that. I said it for you. But publicly, thank you, Miss Susan. I know I give you a warm time some days, boy. And how you put up with me, you must be a sister. But we're good, right?
Yeah, man, we're good.
And you enjoying the rain?
Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I managed to keep my hair dry.
Yeah.
All right. So any Aunt Cla things coming up, no? Because I hear that for those who don't know, Aunt Cla is on the roll, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
What are you talking about, Aunt Cla, the character on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That Aunt Cla.
I got to meet her someday.
Okay. Well, if people don't know or haven't heard about it, ask somebody. Because Aunt Cla tells us how it go. If she say, I say, no, I'm not going to say she said, I say, I saw, I seen.
No. That's not how it goes. Good afternoon, listeners. It's time for some music, right?
All right.
Thank you for listening to Talk today.
All right. Be blessed, people.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.